He looked at me scared. I said, well, it's a small plane. It must be an eye pocket. Motors accelerating, another big drop. He grabs my hand. I grab his. We look at each other, and then everything went black.
Can you imagine being the sole survivor of a plane crash? Well, that nightmare became a reality for Annette Hawkins after Vietnam Airlines Flight 474 crashed into a mountainside during a cyclone in 1992.
What is extraordinary is Anne survived 8 days alone with no food and only rainwater.
And the sole survivor of Vietnam Airlines 1992 crash, Annette Hawkins, joins us now. Good morning, Annette. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, of course, you are on our minds because of the Air India crash last week in which Vishwas Kumar Ramesh walked away from that extraordinary tragedy. What were your thoughts when you saw that happening to him?
My first thoughts, please leave him alone. That's because I realized more than anything that he lost a brother in the crash and that he saw him dead right next to him, and that happened to me as well. I saw my beloved next to me, still strapped in his seat, lifeless, and that's really basically the biggest tragedy for him right now. That's what I thought. So in a way, I thought, please don't hunt him down.
Annette, tell us. Your own experience is quite extraordinary. I think we remember the story, but can you just remind us what happened with you?
In 1992, I was on top of the world. I had my fiance and I were going to discuss our wedding plans in a romantic resort on the South China Sea in Vietnam, where he he worked, and I was a managing director of Banco Santander in Spain. We had a romantic vacation going from Ho Chi Minh City to Nha Trang. In the 50th minute, the plane made a giant drop, people screaming. He looked at me scared. I said, well, it's a small plane, it must be an eye pocket. And motors accelerating, another big drop. He grabs my hand, I grab his, we look at each other, and then everything went black.
What did you say to each other? Because if you realised you were crashing, did you?
Yeah, no time. And so that's why I always come out to speak. I come out to speak to say to the bereaved families that there is very little time in an airplane crash to realize what's happening, and there's no such thing as fear or your life in front of you. It just before you even realize what happens. And we actually made the drop, accelerated, jumped a little longer. We grabbed each other's hand, and that was it. And frankly, what I always say, the bad part of surviving an airplane crash is waking up. That's when the struggle started for me, and I think for Mr. Ramesh as well. I mean, he lost his brother. People are gonna hunt him down, ask him questions. You're destined for something special. Do you feel guilty? You must feel so guilty. It was tough. It's a tough club to be a member from. But the thing is, you don't realize at the very beginning. You just want to focus on mourning.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
And have you reached out to him, or would you expect to have some conversation with Vishwas at all?
Well, I really think for him right now, he has to go through the proper process of mourning. I think there's nothing of and fending off the press. That's your priority, and everyone around him as well. It's probably they are protecting me as well. For him to realize what's happened, that takes a little time. It's only with time that you realize, that it would be very lucky accident actually. But still, it's really it's just tough. It's a tough position to be in.
And Annette, when you were alone for 8 days with the wreckage nearby, how did you keep going?
Yeah, so I think Mr. Ramesh and I, we both chose fight, and we both chose to fight in the first instance. So did I. I got out of there. I saw my fiancé dead next to me. I must have got into shock because my next memory is outside on the jungle floor, surrounded by a few more people who were moaning, and next to an English-speaking Vietnamese man. And that's when I really had to start and stay in the moment and accept reality. Like, I'm not on the beach with my fiancé. I have to fight. And at first, I tried to motivate the man to get some water or do something. We both were severely injured, but in the end of that first day, I saw the life going out of him, and no more moaning on the mountain. And from that moment on, I was entirely alone. And man.
And it was 33 years ago, of course, for you, Annette. Has life subsequently been kind to you since that event?
Yeah, lives keep on throwing things at you. But what I'm always saying, what I did at the time is just accept. If you accept what you don't have, if you accept your circumstances, then you can see what you do have. And I focused on the jungle, on the beauty of the jungle instead of the maggots and the stinking and the dead. And that's basically how I have approached life ever since as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Really inspiring. Thank you, Annette Hawkins there. And as she said, her first thoughts. I had similar thoughts when the plane crash happened last week, which was that everybody was celebrating that this guy had lived, that Vishwas Ramesh was alive, and all I could think was, but he's lost his brother.
He was sat next to him.
He was he was on the other end of on another aisle. So,
but I mean, and there's that whole guilt thing.
Yeah. Fascinating.